Well, I mean, definitely in the beginning, I had no intention or whatsoever that what I was practicing and what I'm...
Who is this shirtless man with muscles rippling and eyes blazing with intensity, delivering a lightning-fast punch? This iconic scene from Enter the Dragon epitomizes the legend of Bruce Lee. What made him such an indomitable force in martial arts and pop culture? Although Bruce Lee's life can be described as a legend, his life was not always one full of excitement and fights. Lee was born on November 27, 1940 in San Francisco, in the district of Chinatown, during the hour and the year of the dragon, which predicts outstanding accomplishments. His parents, Grace Ho and Lee Hoi Chuen, a famous opera performer in Cantonese opera, decided to call him Lee Junfan. Oh, how the parents could not have dreamt of their son becoming such an icon across the globe. Yet, the journey to fame was not easy for Bruce Lee. Still, his black belt and a way of entertainment controversy surrounded him. One of the most famous was Wong Jack Man, a traditional Wing Chun Kung Fu master, who did not approve of Lee's dissemination of said concepts to people who are not of Chinese descent. This was one of the mediums of challenge, and it climaxed in a clandestine high-risk battle in 1964. The encounter could have been depicted in a number of ways. However, Lee's vision to ensure that everyone could take martial arts was not altered. This conflict also revealed the rebellious nature of Lee, as well as his desire to challenge racism, something that would dominate most of his work. Looking at the descriptions given by the respondents, one could say that Bruce Lee's entrance into the limelight started with his entry into film. Lee began acting in film at a very young age, having several film appearances in Hong Kong where he was raised before the age of 6. In his childhood, there were indications of his interest in performing arts, and similarly, people could identify his leadership quality and charm. But it was not until the teenager, after the real street fight and bullying, began the martial arts training in the system and started the official training in the Wing Chun from the affluent Grandmaster IP Man. It was during this training that he gained the knowledge and experience that formed the basis for his future innovations in martial arts. When he was 18 years old, in the year 1959, Lee relocated to the United States with the aim of claiming his American citizenship and completing his high school education. He later went to the University of Washington to study philosophy. This subject influenced his philosophy of martial arts. This was also when Lee started teaching martial arts, and a distinct look into his unique method developed. Lee's creation of JeetKuneDo, or his own martial art, was revolutionary to the world of martial arts. Contrary to numerous other styles, which had set forms and techniques to follow, JeetKuneDo was all about the flowing movements, effectiveness, and practicality. What Lee referred to it as is the science of war without battle. Nevertheless, despite his originality and undeniable skills, Lee's way to his eventual stardom in Hollywood was far from easy. During the early 1960s, racism was still very much a problem, and few doors were open to Asian actors. That is why throughout his career, Lee experienced many rejections and was limited to performing small stereotypical roles. However, the actor rose to fame from the role of Kato in the television series The Green Hornet, which aired from 1966 to 1967. Even though the show did not last very long, the show was entertaining, and people really enjoyed watching Lee's performance as well as his martial arts moves. This exposure paved the way to subsequent engagements, but he was not yet a bona fide Hollywood star. Disappointed by what Hollywood could offer, Lee went back to Hong Kong only to find out that he was now a star, and obviously thanks to The Green Hornet. To capitalize on the success, Lee made a series of movies now considered as classic martial arts films. The Big Boss, released in the year 1971, and FistOfFury, released in the year 1972, were huge hits in Asia where people gazed at Lee's talent and confidence on screen. However, it was BruceLeeDeathAnniversary, 1972, with which he both wrote, directed, and acted, that gave a true demonstration of his talent. The final fight between Lee and Chuck Norris in the Coliseum is still considered one of the most iconic scenes in the history of film. It was the Enter the Dragon of the year 1973 that brought Lee to the global map of cinema. Sincerely produced by both Hollywood and Hong Kong filmmakers, the movie was a commercial success internationally and is among the best martial arts films of all decades. Unfortunately, Lee never witnessed the actual release of the film. He died suddenly of heart failure on July 20th, 1973, at the age of 32, 6 days before the film's Hong Kong opening. Such a sad demise it was. The circumstances of Lee's death must be deemed as controversial and mysterious. In the official record, the cause of death was given as cerebral edema, in other words, the swelling of the brain. But there were many circumstances in his death which have led to the emergence of a number of conspiracy theories. Some even thought this was as a result of being poisoned or cursed, and that his life was not in danger. His death only made him become even more famous and shrouded by quite a deal of mystery, and thus, fans the world over can still not get enough of him. It was incredibly inspiring how the show affected so many areas of a person's life, not just martial arts and films. He made many great breakthroughs in Hollywood and eradicated discrimination against racial minorities, especially Asians. The philosophies and opinions that he put down in what later became the Tao of JeetKuneDo still resonate to this very day with both martial artists and philosophers around the globe. Appreciation of creativity, change, and learning are some of the characteristic features of people's lives to which Lee addresses. There's hardly anything in martial arts schools, fitness programs, indigenous dances, and general culture that cannot be traced to his footprints. He did not only fight, he did so analytically, creatively, and as a pioneer. Bruce Lee continues to create an impact not only through his die and work, but also through the people whose lives he has touched. He was more than a martial artist. He was a dreamer who saw what people were capable of and pushed them to achieve that. In pondering over the life of Bruce Lee, it is evident that his impact will remain relevant for many generations to come. It is a dragon's roar that will never cease to grumble in the bowels of history as a rallying call to power, focus, and spirit. Therefore, the next time you enjoy Bruce Lee's famous one-inch punch or his captivating nunchaku performance, do not forget the man behind the legend. Well, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it entertaining, then don't forget to hit that like button below. If you want to stay updated with more great content like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel by clicking the red button and the notification bell so you never miss any future content from us. Your support means the world to us.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying.